I do a lot of things, but my basic focus is helping people live happier, healthier, wealthier lives. Usually I do that through solving problems related to financial issues, whether that's growing their business, helping them with their retirement, maybe it's helping them figure out college funding plans. We do a lot of comprehensive financial planning since that's what most people seem to be lacking. I got into this business through a fairly interesting path. After college, I spent about 10 years running nonprofit organizations. I was the executive director, communications, development director. I served on some boards. I worked with a lot of children and families, recent immigrant kids. And what I saw was that most of their problems came from not having enough money. At the time, I was working on education and did some counseling and recreation and different kinds of educational programs. But everything always sort of circulated back to family pressures about money. About 10 years into my career, I became a business consultant, essentially. I started helping a lot of business owners figure out how to earn more money more easily, thinking that that would help solve some of their problems. And just in the last few years, as I've worked with more and more companies, I've started to notice that they need a much greater level of comprehensive financial planning. It's not enough to, buy the right real estate investment. It's not enough to make more income on your products and services. It's not enough to have the right kind of insurance or the right kind of retirement plan. You really need to look at all of those things in context together. So what happens a lot of times is people will come in, they'll have a specific problem. Let's say they're trying to figure out what they should do with their 401k after they've left their job. Well, the way most people are approaching that kind of financial planning is sort of like building a house, somebody trying to build a house with a plumber, an electrician, and a carpenter, none of whom talk to each other, and none of whom are operating from a central plan. Imagine what a house would look like if a carpenter, plumber, and electrician were building it and they never talked to each other and didn't have a plan. Well, that's the way most people's financial affairs are. Their mortgage guy gives them a mortgage, the real estate guy tells them to buy a house, the annuities guy sells them some kind of policy, their insurance guy sells them some other kind of policy, the stockbrokers push the stocks at them. Nobody looks at their entire financial picture and says, what do you really need to get where you want to be in life? And how do these things interrelate? If we compromise here, do we need to compromise here to get something more in this area? In that sense, we're even pretty unusual group of financial advisors. If their priority, when we look at their whole picture, is spending more money to buy a house in a better neighborhood so their kids can go to a better school rather than buying some annuity or insurance, then we tell them to do that. If, though, they need to cut back on their lifestyle spending a little bit or approach their tax situation differently in order to have more money during retirement when they really need it, we'll advise them to do that. Overall, we help educate people. And I always say we're not typical insurance or financial agents or salespeople. What we really are is researchers, we're educators, and we're planners. It's no good to have a plan if the people who you're working with haven't been educated. It's no good educating them if you're educating them on the wrong stuff because you haven't done the right kind of research to find out what's really going on.